And we are back with another episode of Your True Sons. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Rutland. I'm here with Jeremy Macklin and Sean Witherspoon. Today, we're still tackling some of the hot issues going around college football and sports in general. So let's jump right into it, man. Something I just saw on TV today was a young man who was having he was committing to the University of Colorado, but he did it on the Pat McAfee show. It was a big ordeal. I think his entire school was there, which I understand that process. But I got a wild claim. So I'll put it to you guys. How do we feel about people or men still making a big deal out of committing to a university in today's game when you might not stay there for about 9 months and then leave? Spoon, how do you feel about it?
Well, I think the climate, is a lot different. Like you said, the kids might not stay there, but hell, it wasn't guaranteed that we all were going to stay at Missouri, So, and there were still people who wanted to know the new signees at the university.
Mm-hmm.
And today with social media, I think, what's really key is a kid gaining such visibility on a show like Pat McAfee's show. And, that's a way different format to how ESPN has, kept shows in the past. So I think it fits kind of hand in hand with the times. And, and it's big news because he's going to play for Deion too, right?
True.
I think that's something that's pretty cool. And obviously Deion is his name being associated with is going to make the clicks go up, and it gives the kid more visibility. And now the pressure's on. Hey, you got to go make some plays. I think there's a kid from Carrollton High School that's out in Colorado in Boulder. I think he might be quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see what this new 4-star quarterback can bring out in Boulder.
J-Mac, you've been around the high school scene for a while now. Are you a fan of let's make a big deal out of where we're committing to play for the next year? Or they say, well, this kid, his actual words were, for the next 3 to 4 years, I plan on being here. It's like, come on, dude, you're not going to be there 3 or 4 years. Stop.
No, I think in an ideal world, I think that's kind of the goal, right? I think the goal is, the reason why they say 3 to 4 is because 3 is the minimum you got to be out of high school to be able to go to
right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 4, of course, everything goes smoothly. You get your degree and you graduate in 4 years, or you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still valid. I think for some of those guys, like picture perfect, right? Especially these guys, these 4 or 5 stars that literally have kind of their pick, right? Like you're trying to go to somewhere where you think that you can go become the type of player you want to be that's going to take care of you, right? Or you can go and spend your whole collegiate career. So I think the idea behind it for those guys is still what it is. I think if you talking about these guys and I know I'm better than this, but I'm gonna go down here to get some film and I'm gonna transfer up. I think guys who have that type of mentality, I can hear what you're saying, but like Spoon said, I think for some of these kids, man, this still is such a great thing, great experience. For some of these kids, they might be the first person in their family to be going to college and things like that. So yeah, celebrate it, man. For sure, celebrate it.
Okay, so then flip it and go from the head coach's side in college football. I've seen videos where head coaches are high-fiving each other because they got a kid. Oh, we got this guy out of Florida. We got this guy out of Texas. We got this guy out of St. Louis. High five. How excited would you be as a collegiate head football coach for the 4 or 5 star to choose your school? Or you really just know, like, I'm still rolling the dice? I guess essentially you always are, but I'm saying now you're rolling the dice and that kid may not even stay here, let alone become who we think he's going to become.
Well, I think at that point, I think you gotta capitalize on how long you have them for, right? If you're thinking like that, I think as a coach, right, if my mindset is, hey, I'm only guaranteed like the now, right? So let's capitalize on it, right? So let's get what I can get. Let's try to help these guys become the best possible players that they can become to help us, right? Like that's ultimately like what you want to do. So if you're thinking about it like that, I think it's all right. Well, then let's maximize the time that we have. I think if I was a collegiate coach, I think reality says you kind of got to have some of that thinking there. But I think for me, it's like, okay, how can I build my foundation, right, of my program to where we get into situations to where like maybe I can sleep a little easier at night knowing that when these guys are faced with these tough decisions, whether or not to leave or to stay, right, hey, do we have the financial resources to be able to keep them? But also, what if we're getting outbid? Hey, does what we have here trump that because it's special, right? Whether it's the culture, whether it's the coaching staff, whether it's all these other things. So I think while recruiting in some ways, I think in some ways when you talk about getting to know kids, like I think maybe has gotten a little lazy. I think in another way though, it's become a little more intentional, right? So because you kind of have to make sure that like you kind of hit, because if you don't hit, right, one or two things are gonna happen, right? Like, I think coaching contracts are shorter, right? Like, you're on shorter leashes, but then also, like, if these kids don't fit, right, then you gotta scratch it off and redo it all over again, right? So if that foundation is not strong, if you don't have a good, I guess, way of doing things that everybody's bought into, I think that make it a lot tougher.
Spoon, what would you go ahead? Yeah, go ahead as a head coach.
One more thought.
Yeah.
One more thought about this in this climate where public perception is everything in a sense, right? Colorado hasn't won a lot of games since Prime Time has been there and been the head coach.
True.
They just had the most expensive freshman left tackle leave school, go to LSU down there with Lane Kiffin talking about how he loved LSU and they're in the weight room. And, in Colorado, they do things like this, they do things like that. Deion has had to kind of fend those questions off a little bit. I mean, it kind of seems like Prime might have got on the phone. Hey, Pat, I got this big-time recruit. He's out of Tennessee, good old country boy. We're trying to get him out here to kind of get this thing going. But we really just want to get some good pub for Colorado that can help with our recruiting, because other kids are seeing this. Like, man, maybe if I choose Colorado, I get a chance to show my face on national TV, grow my fan base, kind of put myself in a better position where my NIL deal can be even more lucrative because of the exposure. So that's to me, that's really all it is to me. You got to come in, you got to play ball. The head coach going to have to make football decisions. The kid going to have to make pro decisions as a kid, because that's just the climate of where we are right now.
So I have another.
Hey, hold on. Hold on, okay. Let me ask you a question, because Spoon just touched on this, and I'm gonna ask you this question, Kevin. Speaking of Coach Prime, I think everybody wants Coach Prime to do well because of what he represents, right? Like, he does not care about. I can't say that because I've never asked him this question personally. He may care about public perception, he may not. Who knows, right? But like how he talks with such confidence, such conviction,
always has
like this aura, right, that surrounds him, right? Or that tackle to leave, and you seen his body when he left. And then all of a sudden, these pictures start circulating of him at LSU. Now, I don't know. AI
is real.
AI is do it to you now. So I don't know if something that was AI, but to see this dude and you like, yo, this big dude's in this shape, like, and to hear him talk about it, like, I guess speaking, like, how do we view the whole Colorado thing now?
So listen. When Deion first got there, and you have Travis Hunter and you have Shador, kind of had like, and even Shallow, let's be honest, like these are people who were much more popular outside of the game when they first got there than they were for what they done on the field, right? Even I was a fan, I was a viewer. I would stay up late. I'm here in Texas, and you got these West Coast games. I'm staying up late and I'm watching them. I'm not just. I'm kind of invested because I'm rooting for Deion, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Since Shador has left, I may have watched one of their games, and I think that, to answer your question, I think that's kind of the moxie of that aura around that program with Prime being there is kind of wearing off, especially because they haven't been necessarily competitive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Even when Shador was there and Travis Hunter were there, I mean, their second season together, they did okay, but. Are we looking at them as like, oh, they're going to win the Big 12? No. You know what I mean? Nobody's looking for them. So it's kind of going away.
It's so crazy. Their last year, that they had a chance. They were competitive.
They had a chance. But then I would say the Big 12 is kind of weak then if they had a chance. Because they did have a chance.
So now where we're sitting at, Spoon.
Don't make me pull up Scatterboo now.
Hey, listen, now where we
sitting
same
year now.
That is the same year.
Now where we sitting at, Spoon, like, Prime, like, hit with Lewis, the quarterback last year. He hit with a quarterback. Like, he's going hit with the number one left tackle. Hit with all these. He's going to continue to get guys, but it seems like you get two or three of them, but it's the meat and potatoes in between that like really make the difference in those. Those guys are great players. Don't get it twisted, but like how do you build that piece of it, right? How do you build that piece of it, Frank?
So
man,
go ahead, Spoon.
To be honest, the way that they're putting the Israel Adams kid on Pat McAfee's show, I think it definitely helps because it just gives that visibility. These kids are watching that. They're not watching. They might not even be watching the combine and the draft as closely as you may think. They're kind of in tune with who's who at their level right now. And then when they finish their season, now, of course, they have to address if they're going to the league or not. They know the top players, but I don't think they're as in tune as they are with the visibility. And since Prime has been at Colorado, we've seen more Colorado than we've ever seen, and I think it's been a gift and a curse. So, but to lose Marshall Faulk, to lose Warren Sapp, to lose, they're bringing in the head coach from here in Gainesville, High School, who lost to Thomas County Central in the state championship game. Kid had 400 yards against him. They bring him in to coach the tight ends. They're trying to find it. I think finding more relatable coaches, but to lose a Warren Sapp and Marshall Faulk, and to think that's not going to hurt your running back room, your D line and pass rush room, that's just some red signs for me. So I don't know if it's finding the right coaches that can help these kids go there and develop.
Yeah.
I just really don't know, Mac, but you got to get the trenches right. We know that.
Now, here's the next question. The last question I'm going to ask about this.
Yeah.
Do we think the NIL era, right, is helping? Because I don't know where Colorado stands resource-wise, right? I don't know if it can compete with Ohio State. But do you think if Deion took over pre-NIL, would he have experienced success sooner?
Yes.
If he took over pre-NIL. Okay.
Yes.
I think so.
Because now we all want to just go to be with Prime, right? And now you get the best kids out of high school, and they're just flooding Colorado, and he's probably having to beat kids off with a stick. But because I can go somewhere else and get more money, so I personally think, I don't know the resources, like you said. I don't know what kind of money Colorado has to give their student athletes, but it seems like they have just enough money to pay one or two high-profile players a year. After that, we don't know anybody. I can't name a player from their defense last year. You know what I mean? I think that's what ends up happening. You could get this big name quarterback. You might get a tackle. Or you might get someone. You might get a Travis Hunter, but you don't have enough resources to compete at the highest level. So I think, unfortunately for Deion, he's going to always really attract a big name. He's a big name. I want to be the quarterback that goes and plays with Colorado too, right? Until I get there and I realize, it's just me. Yeah, and then I transfer and I go somewhere else. That's going to be I think the MO for Colorado forever until, and I'm not saying that coaching isn't there, but there has to be a drastic shift in the way they are playing football. Like, let's play to our strengths. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying Mizzou is like this hotbed full of money and just getting the best of talent, but I know for a fact Drink's going to do his absolute best with the talent he has in that locker room. I don't know if I can say that about Prime yet. Now, still relatively new in his coaching career. So it can change, but today, if somebody says, hey, can Prime take a team full of nobodies and make it work? No, I don't think so. He's not Signetti.
I think, yeah, but like I stand on the table. I don't think those are nobodies. I think you're gonna see about 4 Indiana players get taken in the first 2 rounds here in this draft. So like I know we talk about that. Maybe 5. So I put it like this: Prime won in high school, right? He won at Jackson State, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like.
It's when he had the best players. He's always had the best players. Can he at Colorado?
Travis didn't scratch the surface at Jackson State, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, like he
didn't. He didn't even play. He didn't play.
He was hurt a lot.
Prime clearly saw that he was going to be that guy, and Prime clearly knew what he had in his own son. Mm-hmm. But like,
yeah,
but like I will say this: you had 4. Like Kevin Coleman started his career with Prime at Jackson State, so like he was getting those type of guys there. So
he had guys compared to his. The competitors, right? Maybe he didn't have guys compared to Ohio State, but compared to PV and FAMU and whatnot, he had guys.
If I was Prime,
go ahead.
If I was Prime, I would have took a Belichick approach.
Explain.
I'm gonna bet on me. I'm gonna bet on me as Prime, right? I can get these boys to act a certain way. My influence, what I can show them, what I've obtained, what's out there for them. I can go get the guy that might be on his last leg. That JUCO transfer that was at Florida State his freshman year, failed out, boom, went to JUCO, stayed 2-3 years. Now he coming back, he home.
The long route.
If he wouldn't have got them guys, and maybe he did, I don't know. But I would just feel like some guys with a little something in their neck. You know what I'm saying? Like a little something going on with them. Like those kind of rough around the edges guys, and kind of put his stamp on them. I think that would have been a cheaper approach than going to get a left tackle that hadn't played a college game that was getting $40,000, like a month.
one of my high school teammates is on Prime staff right now, so I want them. I've always wanted Prime to do well, but because I want him to get his opportunity. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. I mean, look, I guess a piece of me roots for him, but my expectations have come down. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe they, if they go.
So what does that mean, Kevin?
I don't expect him to
If
make
the expectation
real noise.
has gone down, what about his tenure there? How does that look moving forward?
So, great question. He's still the best thing Colorado can get. If he leaves, now you've lost any kind of credibility you have with names. But you're not getting the 4 stars and the 5 stars anymore. Now you're trying to rebuild, and you're in Colorado with a coach nobody's heard of. Now you
some good ball coaches. It's gonna be some good ball coaches out there.
But you entering the dark ages, man. Like I'm not willing to take that step back. Prime is still putting cheeks in the seats out there now. People still coming to watch him play. And if for nothing else, I'm generating revenue as a university, and I'm okay with Prime staying. I would rather Prime than to let him go and bring in somebody who no one's heard of. That's just scary for me. Eventually, it's going to have to happen, or maybe you ask him to retire, but you can't fire him. You can't fire him. You got to let him usher in that new generation.
Ooh, everybody get fired in coaching now.
That's true, but from Colorado, I don't know.
I saw Dan Hawkins at Nike years ago. I was like, hey, what's up, Coach Hawkins? He said, boy, you got me fired. And he was at Colorado. Shout out to Cody Hawkins and Dan Hawkins.
Colorado got up on us 10-0 there. We scored 113 straight points in 2 meetings.
I feel bad for Colorado.
Let's go back to that moment, though. That's a true Sun moment. They got up 10-0. Then they started showing old highlights of them just smacking Missouri. I didn't even know. Like, Matt grew up in Missouri. He might have seen some of them games.
Man, I don't remember.
They started showing Brad Smith all bad plays.
I remember the 5th down. That's about
it.
The fifth down.
Yeah.
But they started showing all them plays. Man, Coach Christensen.
Yost. Wait.
Hey, listen. Then the next year we put our ones back in to get the donut.
Remember that?
Yeah. It was getting close.
Yeah. 58-0. They was driving. They threw y'all boys back out there.
They ran us off the sideline for it. It was deep. Shout out.
You gotta hate a team, man. You gotta hate a team to make sure they finish with 0 points. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, it was rough. So maybe there are brighter days coming for Colorado. You know, it
maybe.
Could be. And I like Prime. I love Prime.
Same.
No disrespect to Prime, but man, that's a tough job out there. That's a tough job.
It is. So moving on to the next topic, Spoon, something you kind of brought up a little bit earlier today, man. The issue we're having at Florida A&M, or to most of us, better known as FAMU, who won't be able to. I think is it a postseason ban? I think it's a postseason ban for the 2026 year due to academics.
Yeah,
it ain't good.
It's not good, but we also kind of touched on this, last week. I didn't know that academics was still a thing for college football players. I just I thought everyone passed.
Somebody was screaming from the top ropes. I think it was Texas. We make our kids go to school around here. Like, so it is, man. And the thing about it is, this one's like a double whammy because it's an HBCU. And like, and like, we're always talking about like the lack of resources at these HBCUs. You can go back to, I think it might be now 2 years ago when Ed Reed was talking about what happened where he was. And then you go back to Prime and everything that he fought for at Jackson. And it's a constant battle, man. So
and now Mike Vick,
yeah, you know what I mean. And so it's great to see what Vick being back in Norfolk and D-Jack at Delta, like, and now Marshall Falks at Southern, right? So like, you get all these great guys, man. But like, it just sucks that like it stands for historically black college and. Yeah. To see a sport that we all played of young men that look like us, right, not be able to participate in something because of they weren't able to meet the academic standards of the NCAA. So to me, it's like, who's to blame? Is it administration over there? Is it coaches? Is it the players, right? Which I don't really want to blame them, but like at the end of the day, we all know this. Like, hey, when you go to college, like a lot of that responsibility of how well you do in your academics falls on you. Like, are you going to class? Are you getting out? Are you studying? And this and the third. But in the same breath, like on the football part, like we had mandatory study hall. Like if you didn't have
You
certain
did.
GPA, like you had to be there, right?
So that's
Players
leadership. That's got to be leadership then too, then, Matt, because that
So
was, like you said, mandatory. Like,
yeah.
It was
there's no
mandatory.
way out of
That's what
that.
I'm saying. So I think like it sucks because like man, like that's like a double whammy, bro. Like it's like
Yeah.
like it's our people. You know what I mean? And that and that hurts. You know.
It's like another, I don't know, like another strike against it. It's like, golly, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Don't let it be something that is controllable, in my opinion. Winning and losing games, you compete against other athletes, man, who are on scholarship too, who are getting NIL deals. So if you lose a game, I get it. But to not be competitive in the classroom, at least enough to pass the courses, that's unfortunate.
Listen. I'm not certain, or I don't major in this, but like we've had people fail classes and become ineligible, and we collectively as a team have still been okay. Their team collectively didn't meet the standards. So like, yes, the players, but like that falls on that has like, am I tripping?
No, you're right. When you talk about the entire team, you're right. It's like, hold on, wait. It's a bigger issue there.
Yeah. Can you imagine this? Imagine you went out there and just put it down. Like the portal is calling your name. And you can't even get in school. We can't even bring you in because your grades ain't right. Like, man, like I'm thinking of leadership, but yet I'm thinking of the players too. Like, I mean, you guys got to put yourself in position. Maybe you want to stay at FAMU. Maybe the situation's great, but I can't potentially see a lot of kids leaving FAMU to go make more money at bigger schools. You know, like it's just sad.
That's true.
They said that, I guess, because of what has happened, I guess now, like, you know how they closed the portal and you couldn't, but now I guess because of what has happened, the guys that are eligible to get out of there, actually, they didn't say who, but I guess, like, they can get in the portal now and go other places to seek other opportunities, right? But when I saw that, I guess I saw some, you know, it might have been 10 years ago. I don't really remember, but I think it was Akron also was in the same position a couple, you know,
So
8-9 years
listen
ago.
to
So like,
to answer your question though, Jeremy, you were right. Their president put out a statement saying Florida A&M holds its student athletes to the same standard of excellence we hold every Rattler. These penalties reflect a failure of institutional infrastructure, not a failure of our student athletes. So maybe y'all are right. Like when it's that big of an issue, you have to start looking at the top and say, all right, hold on, wait. Let's change some things. It's the infrastructure as he put, or some of the
Did they pay
systems
tutors?
you guys.
Did they pay the tutors?
What are we doing to help?
Man.
And it sounds like nothing was being done to help these kids. I think because we were all in their shoes, we understand the responsibility that it takes as the player, but we also cannot, like you guys mentioned, we cannot forget the amount of resources we were given, and like you guys said, that were mandatory, at least for our freshman years. Like, hey, you have to go to study hall. Like, it's just falling off in that category was unacceptable under Coach Pinkel. Did some people do it? Yes. But the masses, it's a program run by him, it wasn't allowed. It just was not allowed.
Is it still 6 hours that you need to be in the postseason?
Is that all you need?
I don't know.
Man, I believe that's all we needed back then, bro. Just half your classes, right? Most of us were at 12 hours, maybe some of us 15 maybe. And I think you had to pass 2 classes, man. That's rough, man.
I hope it's higher than that now.
That's rough.
Give these kids a break. Because then it kind of puts it into another perspective. It's like, oh, wait. I don't even think kids were going. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't think at the collegiate level now, kids were going to class anyway. I thought there was a lot of online classes nowadays, man, and people just kind of skating by, especially for the basketball players. Because if you are really, really good, you might go to class for that summer before you get there, and you might hit a few that first semester. After that, you're not going to class anymore. You're going to the league. And maybe these kids are thinking like, you know what? I'm not going to class anymore. I'm going to the portal. Maybe that was them. And I wonder how many, maybe it's a lot of kids in those shoes right now who just think, you know what? I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to FAMU. I'm going to go to Prairie View. I'm going to kill. And then Mizzou's going to come calling. So why do I waste my time going to school?
I mean, you still got to be eligible though, kid. You
Yeah,
can't.
that's
You
what I'm saying.
can't.
You got to get them
You can't.
grades now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it. Somebody said this the other day, like, because I think I said this at school, right, at work, and somebody was like, well, you can still prioritize academics. Like, even if you transfer, like, if it's important to you.
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
if you want, you know what I mean? Like, put forth effort. So, I mean, you still got to at least be eligible. You can't just transfer and just, like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how
And you're starting to see more and more schools come out and say, well, nah, our kids do go to, because I think people been under fire, right, a little bit. They're starting to say our kids do go to class, right? Like, me personally, like, I don't really, like, got a problem with you going online. I just feel like you're missing out on a college experience, right? Like, I mean, what about the student center and things like that? And that was things that we did that, like, was part of our experience.
That's true. That's true.
Now the parking tickets, like, I could do without those. You know what I mean? But like that.
But you
that
had to take care of your feet now.
That was part of the experience.
And the park's closed now.
Hey, wait, listeners. One day we're sitting having lunch at Dobbs. Dobbs is no longer on Mizzou's campus. It used to be a dining hall that was very close to our dorm room by South Hall. And we are sitting enjoying a great lunch, probably having the time of our lives, laughing. It was patty melt everywhere. Jeremy spotted his own vehicle being towed mid-bite. I think he might have had a patty melt in one hand and a chocolate milk in the other hand. And he watched his Pontiac Grand Am all white. Hey, what street is that behind Dobbs? What street is that?
Man, was it? I don't know, man. I don't know.
I forget.
But he was being told because of those parking tickets. So kids out there, when you go to college, man, look.
Is that Kentucky Boulevard right there?
It might have been Kentucky. Yeah. Pay your parking tickets or just don't drive your car. You got two options. They hold your degree.
On the back of that tow truck riding down the street.
Hey,
all we can do is laugh. I don't even know who took it.
I done seen mine, license plates first. That's all I see is the back.
I had to write a letter to the university to try to get them to take some of my parking ticket, the fine, to take it down some. I wrote a letter to them. Begging. It was a horrible day. They came down a couple hundred on me.
Yeah, it is, man. They love you.
So, hey, man, yeah. So, write your letters, guys. Last topic, short and sweet. This was kind of touchy, but that's kind of one of your thoughts about, as people who have been in the public light, people who have played at the highest level and kind of had every move scrutinized or magnified. How do you feel about what you do and say on social media causing you to potentially lose your job?
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, Jaden Ivey lost his job. Now, granted, was he playing at a high level? Debatable. But he went out, said some things, and then there were consequences for the words he used.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about that? One, as professional athletes, and then two, like, just from a freedom of speech context. Spoon, how do you feel about it?
Well, for me, I mean, it's pretty simple. To the extent that people will deal with you will be determined based upon your talent. And I'm not saying that, that Jaden Ivey isn't an awesome player. I mean, he made it to the NBA, first-round draft pick. I remember watching him in college. He put Texas Tech on the map to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Bob Knight. Was it Tech or did he go to
Purdue?
Was it? I don't know. Don't make me lie. But
Go ahead.
I think I remember him coming out of Tech, but I'm not sure. But, I saw him in the tournament. That's what I say. He was a tournament player that played great. He made some money. He's not Steph Curry. He's not LeBron James. If you're going to talk like Kanye, you better have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. You better have Watch the Throne. Like, you got to have that type of production, man. Like, Randy Moss, like some of the stuff Randy Moss did when he played the game, walking off the field before the game even over, like, man, we lost. That type, like, you got to be special to do that, and everybody's not going to be treated the same. And that's just something, I mean, I don't even parent my kids the same. That's just what it comes down to. Like, everybody's different. Everybody needs something different. But I think, if it becomes a distraction, you gotta do what you gotta do in the best interest of your organization, because we're talking about business and we're talking about the image that you that you portray, and the people that represent your shield. That reflects right upon you. So I think it's just tough. Now, freedom of speech is another thing, right? Like, if he didn't work for them, the team, the people that he worked for, he can say what he wants to say. He worked for himself. He got freedom of speech. But you go to work for somebody else, hey, that's who write their name on your check, man. So there it is.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that, man. I think all that stuff sounds good. Freedom of speech, being able to express yourself, this and the third. But when you work for somebody, you have to go by what their rules are or regulate or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We also don't know any of the backstory. Right? We
True.
don't know what was going on inside the organization. We don't know what he was doing.
Right.
Showing up to work, doing his job, like
Right.
all these other things.
There's probably
right?
more to that story. Yeah.
Yeah. And the same thing that Spoon said, man, like reality is, especially in sports and really anything where you have to perform and you're considered elite at what you do, or there's like levels to what you do, right? Yeah, people are going to put up with whatever they can stomach based off how talented you are. And that's reality. And it's been that way for a very, very long time. You can hate it, you can like it, doesn't matter. This just is what it is. As far as like being in the limelight, man, I've always tried to be very like aware of like my surroundings. I've always tried to be very aware of like how I speak and how I talk.
Yeah.
Without compromising me, right? That's the thing about it. I'm not somebody who acts off impulse. I don't just like, I like to think, I like to mull over things, I like to make sure that like I'm articulating myself like the way I want to, not off a reaction or instant emotion. So I've always been that type of person, and I think that's part of comes with the professionalism that with what we do as well, right? Like I got a son now, I got daughters, like all these other things. I got a lot of people from a lot of different places that watch me, look up to me, and where I'm at. So I want to make sure that I'm doing right, not only by myself, by them as well. So like you may or may not have a problem with what he said. It is what it is. But I just like Spoon said, man, it's when you don't write your own checks, man. Unfortunately, like you gotta go by a different set of rules, and if you don't want to, then they got the right to get you up out of there.
Yeah. I think another good point Spoon made was, let's be honest, he's not Steph Curry. He's not LeBron James. Like, the liberties you were given when you are very productive are much different than somebody else, even though it could be on your same team, right? I think that's one thing that Pinkel, when we were there, he was open and honest about. He was like, hey, this is not going to be it's not always going to be a fair place. Like, if you're a kid who was doing the right things on the football field, not messing up in class and whatnot, you are going to enjoy this experience. You might think, oh, this is a very fair place. But if you were a kid who, was late to practice or always in trouble missing, then you're not getting treated the same because your behaviors aren't the same. You're going to sign some paperwork
with him.
Yeah. So I think that's a huge point Spoon just made. And Jeremy, I agree with you too. When you don't write your own checks, I mean, you have to, unfortunately, at times, censor yourself. Or not always voice your opinion. I'm not saying you can't have your opinions, but the manner in which we voice them has to be monitored because you can cost yourself your job. Now, the unfortunate part about it is that if he worked in another field that was not as publicized and didn't have this limelight, like you guys said, maybe he doesn't have any consequences. Yeah. But when you work on the biggest stage, go ahead, J-Mac.
I'm about to say, I just think I also believe there's probably more to the story. There's always more to the story.
You know it.
I think a little bit of the aftermath makes me believe that there's probably some internal stuff going on.
Yeah. I've seen a post of him lately, and it's like, maybe he's struggling too. And he has been very open about mental health too, so hopefully he gets the help he needs as well.
That's what I like to see. I like to see this story turn into, something that could be a learning experience for anybody with beliefs in whatever they believe in and however they decide to express themselves. That they move accordingly to understand that it's not always just about what you want to say or how you feel. He's a 24-year-old kid.
Yeah,
24 years old. I'd love to see him figure it out. Get back in that league and make some plays and do what everybody who's known him has known him to be. A great player, great person. He's a father. What I'm saying? He's a father. He's a husband. Like, I would love to see him kind of, turn this around. But unfortunately, whatever you put out there, it doesn't go anywhere, but you can do the work. You can do the work. So I like to see that from him.
You can do the work. We wish him the best, man. Look, my brothers, once again, it's been a great night. Always a pleasure getting down with y'all, man. We are your true sons. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Rutland. I'm here with Jeremy Macklin and Sean Witherspoon. We'll see you guys next week.